And now, from the Marquee Media Studio inside Mark Tank, it's the Mark Haney Show.
Imagine having a professional football team right here in Sacramento. Today I am joined by MMA superstar Urijah Faber, who you all know, and Ben Shapiro. He is the owner of the Pivot Agency, and Ben is a guy that brings sports people together to drive all kinds of opportunities. So maybe I'll just have each of you give a quick background, and then we'll dive into what is this about pro football in Sacramento.
Yep. So obviously I've been on this show before. Sacramento guy, love Sacramento, and always looking for cool ways to give back and create a cool culture, etc. Ben and I have been friends since college, a long time ago now, unfortunately. But we, have always been kind of in contact about stuff. He was an athlete in college as well. I'll let him talk about that. And his brother was an athlete in college at UC Davis. We were roommates and played at the same time. And when this opportunity came up to kind of push forward on a new sports team for Sac, and me being a football fan, I was like, absolutely.
And you played football in high school. So
that was my first passion.
He's a good football player.
Yeah, I played, elementary school.
You were running back in DB? Was that what you did? Yeah.
I was on the Sacramento Saints. We played at Hiram Johnson. I was the only white kid on the team.
Wow, I didn't know that.
When I was in the 5th grade.
Oh, okay.
Then I played at the Lincoln Colts.
Okay.
In Lincoln, and then I was a fighting zebra.
The Oakmont beat you guys in high school, by the way, but that was a few years later.
Yeah, earlier. High school's probably not while I was there. That's not on my watch. And then fighting zebras, and then I went on to Davis and wrestled. But I love football, man. Football is my passion.
Yeah, Ben.
I was a tennis player here at Sacramento State. Then I went to the Bay Area. I was an executive of the Golden State Warriors for 13 years. Started Pivot Agency about 10 years ago. We're a sports, entertainment, lifestyle, travel company, doing multiple different things. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be helping Urijah and the team try to bring this, I think, great form of football to a great market like Sacramento.
Can you give us an idea what this opportunity looks like? Paint the picture of what it could look like, because we're still working on it. So what might it look like?
Well, it's professional football. It's in an arena. So it's got kind of a combination of football and hockey, where players are bouncing off dasher boards. It's high impact. It's very entertaining. It's high scoring. The final score is like 82-75. So they're scoring touchdowns every other second, it feels like. And I got to know the owner, Roy Choi. He's really invested into this business, into this sport. They're playing in San Jose at SAP Center, where the Sharks call home. They're not succeeding at the level that they want as it pertains to attendance, sponsorship. And so when I got to know him, I said, hey, I think you need to look at other markets, specifically Sacramento, Stockton, and Oakland. We always had my eye actually on Sacramento. And so what we did as a part of the RFP is we decided to create these executive community boards. I live in the Bay Area, Walnut Creek, which is about 15 miles east of San Francisco. And I said, we need local business leaders, celebrities to rally around this. And Urijah, as you mentioned, we've known each other for a long time. When I thought about Sacramento, I thought Urijah's the king of Sacramento. I need to talk to Urijah first. And he's put together a pretty powerful group surrounding him. And the amount of support that we've seen from the city of Sacramento, prospective sponsors, the Sacramento Kings, the local media, just in 4 weeks. They only got 3-4 weeks left in this thing, so it's been very exciting to watch, and I'm feeling very confident about Sacramento's chances.
So when Ben called you, what was your first reaction, and then kind of give us how did it take off from there?
Well, first off, I thought that I've been working on some stuff as well, and I thought that he said I thought he was following up for his brother, because I hadn't responded back on his brother on attending his daughter's birthday party. And I was like, oh man, I gotta commit to this thing. I forget. And so he was like, hey man, you coming to the party? And I was like, oh, he's following up. And then he said, I have something to talk to you about. And so when we got there, I wanted to talk to him too, because I know his Pivot agency is an awesome agency and all that they do, and he's actually put me in touch with some really great people in the past, just because, you know, game recognized game, you know, just helping each other network. And so I got there, and it was like the thing I wanted to talk about and what he wanted to talk about were like hand in hand, which is basically making Sacramento better and bringing some more excitement and things like that. So I was excited. I was like, yeah, I mean, this kind of plays into my passions. I love Sacramento. I feel like it'll appeal to people in the area that love family outings, love football, love Sacramento as in general, and go from there.
Well, I mean, I have to drive, basically 3 or 4 hours to go see a Niner game, right? We got season tickets, but I mean, it's an all day, it's a jaunt to get down there, and to have something local that could tap into the local market. And I think it would be, exciting for a lot of our friends and for a lot of us, really.
Yeah. Well, and the average ticket price is totally different, right?
Okay.
Like if you go down to the 49ers for a family of 4, you're looking at about $1,000, not just 3 hours of driving, $1,000.
Yeah. If I take a family of 8, we take 8 of us down there.
Okay, there's a lot more money. But like this is an average of $35 a ticket.
Yeah.
Now, obviously there's some really better seats, but average $35 a ticket.
Wow.
So if you got a family of 4 and you can do that for $150, including food, that's a great outing.
That's a great deal.
That's a great outing.
And this is still a violent sport, so it's got that attraction for Uriah.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
these guys are running into each other. Ooh, hitting each other. Not as hard as they hit the microphone. But right, this is contact.
This is gladiators.
These are guys that did not make it to the NFL, but they still want to keep playing, and they can get paid to come out there and do what they love.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the way I look at it, and I talked about that board, and when we first talked, Haney was actually my first pick. You're on the playground, you want your first pick. I said, let me talk to Haney. I know Haney loves football. He coached, his son played football. I love Sacramento. Is all about creating a culture here, and I took my family there. I'm a family guy, and I love the environment. It was fun. It was affordable. It was easy to keep the kids' attention at 2 and 4 because it's fast action.
And you're close to the action too,
you're
right?
Close to the action.
Not back. Like if you go to a Niner game, you're pretty far away from the sidelines. But you're up on like in a hockey stadium. You're right there.
Yeah, and they kick field goals. The kids can keep the footballs. They can go out there and get them. They got shirts coming down from parachutes off the ceiling. There's dancers. There's cheerleaders. There's high impact. I was like, snacks are coming through. The kids had a great time, and so. But from a player standpoint, I mean, some of these players are purely there for the passion. Some of these players have the hopes of maybe getting to a bigger opportunity. The far and few between it happens, but it happens. And then what I like about it, because I've done it already with my team, my A1 Combat Fight organization, is, and anybody that's a part of anything knows, like those football players right there, if they're coached up right on the life side of things, which I think we can do as the people that are interested in bringing the group there, that's a strong network of people that all love football, and I have that with my fight team. If you look at Chad Mendez, Danny Castillo, Joseph Benavidez, TJ Dillashaw, Cody Garbrandt, all those guys have moved into the business world and have taken their experience in the fight game and turned it into the next phase of things. And I think what I would like to do when we get the team here is really coach these guys up and understand, like, hey, look, guys, here's the opportunity you have right now. You are obviously hardworking. You obviously know how to chase your passions, and teach them about life on the fact that you guys are in a brotherhood now that is, sure, you're playing football. Maybe somebody makes it to the next level. Maybe they don't. But you got to take this time and realize there's power in numbers, the power of width. You've got other players. You've got people that are coming to watch you that are affluent in the area. They have businesses. They have know-how, and get them thinking different, because it's a brutal sport. And I say this about my fight team all the time. I own a professional fight team. I own a professional fight organization. Not everybody's going to make a ton of money out of that, but it's always something to be proud of to have participated, you know, and you're rubbing shoulders with a bunch of other people that are motivated, that are hardworking. And when you start thinking of it as, hey, this is one step in my life, it could be a big opportunity for them if they're thinking correctly. And I want to help them do that.
Yeah. Well, thinking about that, I'm thinking of that movie with Kurt Warner where it was a springboard for him to go from arena football to obviously one of the best football players in the league.
Yeah.
So can it be that?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I think that's exactly what it is. You know, I think that Kurt Warner is the poster child because a lot of these players played at Clemson, played at Alabama. Maybe they played at Davis or Sac State, but they're very good. They just didn't make an NFL roster or an NFL training camp. So if they're playing arena football because they want to have that last chance. They want to still play professional football. They're not making a ton of money, but they do well. They get that Kurt Warner opportunity.
Yeah.
Come try out. All of a sudden, Trent Dilfer goes down. All of a sudden, you're the starting quarterback. All of a sudden, you're winning Super Bowls. All of a sudden, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's the Kurt Warner story. Yeah. That's the American underdog. And I think that exists here. That's what is fun to watch these players because they all have that dream and that hope still alive because they made it to the top of the college game. But just because you make it to the top of the college game doesn't mean you make it to the NFL.
Right. There's no farm system like there is with we got the River Cats and even single A,
Football
double
doesn't
A.
have that. Football has a lot of other minor leagues and kind of separate sports, but I think that's what Kurt Warner did. And for Urijah, I mean, Marshawn Lynch is a part of this ownership group. Marshawn Lynch went to the locker room and spoke to the team at halftime of the championship game in Vegas a month ago. And I see Urijah being that type of influence on this team in Sacramento and being that visible, in the public eye owner, creating the relationships with the athletes, helping them think about life after football, but also how can they maximize what they're doing right now and how can they, potentially be in a position to get that call because it happens.
Well, this is the Bay Area Panthers we're talking about relocating to either Sacramento or one of the other places that is vying for this opportunity. So you talked a little bit about the ownership. What else can you tell us about the Panthers and why the Panthers would be a great team to pick up here in Sacramento?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an RFP process, right? So the owner is going to decide where he thinks the best business decision is for the organization. They're losing a lot of money right now. I think they're losing money because they're not attracting the type of attendance. I think in Sacramento, if you think about sports landscape in Sacramento, you got the Kings, are the king of the sports landscape. But then you got the River Cats and the Republic, and this season is end of March to end of July. So for the most part, there might be a 1 month overlap with the Kings, depending on how far they go in the playoffs. So that I think for sports fans in Sacramento, the Panthers arena football provides a nice piece of diversity compared to baseball or soccer out in 110 degree weather compared to arena football at the Golden One Center in the air condition where people can dress up on a date.
Yeah.
People can break their kids. People can just go on a Saturday night and have a good time. Very affordable. I think it's going to be extremely popular. And in my conversation with the Kings, I think we all think that the vision is to close off the upper level, sell out the lower level, all the suites. They've sold every single suite except for 5. So the Kings have done a pretty good job selling suites.
Yeah. Would those be open?
All those suite holders, as a part of their license, their suite license, get every event that comes in the one center.
We're a loft. We own a loft, and I want to make sure I could go.
You're going to get your suite's going to have Panther games if Urijah wins his bid.
Okay.
and so will every other suite holder. They're going to get the Panther games because that's a part of their contract. The 5 that are unsold will be sold for just Panthers, but then we will sell the whole lower level. And I think you guys mentioned it, but arena football, and that's how I got into it. I have a 10-year-old son, and he dressed up as a Panther player for Halloween.
Wow.
Because he loved going to the games over the 49er games, to your point. When you go to 49ers, there's 60,000 people there. You don't feel like there's an intimate connection to the players. The Panthers are averaging like 3,000 fans. I think they want to be at more than 6,000 to 8,000. Either way, there's that intimate connection with the players. After the game, a whole team sticks around, signs autographs, takes pictures. To get a picture with Christian McCaffrey or Brock Purdy is near impossible if you go to a 49ers game.
Yes. So how do they score 70, 80 points a game? Maybe walk me through that, because I've seen some games, but I want to walk our audience through it as well. There's a lot of passing. It's easy to score touchdown. It's the field's so short. There's a lot of scoring.
Yeah, I think the field's half the field, so it's 50 yards. So if it's 17 seconds, it's not uncommon that there would be 2 touchdowns in 17 seconds.
Okay.
Because it just takes 1 or 2 plays, and you're down there and you're throwing to the end zone, and they can literally go on a first snap, first down, touchback, 2 touchdown like that. So that's why you see a lot, and they do pass more. There's there's not as many players on the field, so there are options in running plays, but I would say it's 80% passing.
And what about the league? So the league has how many teams now? What's the prognosis for the league expansion and so on?
16 teams in the league.
Okay.
Ranging from Massachusetts out to the Bay Area, a lot of Tulsa, Arizona, Sioux Falls, Dakota was in the championship against the Bay Area Panthers. Iowa, which is where Kurt Warner played. He played for the Iowa Barnstormers, I think is what they're called. Actually sat next to their owner at the championship out in Vegas. League's been around for 15 years. So, it mostly consists in small markets like Sioux Falls, like Tulsa, like Iowa. So I think Sacramento is a very interesting market. I don't see Sacramento as a small market. I see Sacramento as a growing market. When you compare it to the Bay Area, I see it as a small market. And I think the Bay Area is definitely the biggest market that the IFL has a team in. And I think that might be a reason for the lack of success, because if you think about San Jose, you got people that work for Apple, Google, Cisco, Facebook, Twitter, you just go on and on, right? Those people are getting recruited from all over the world to come take that job and getting paid pretty handsomely to take that job. So if you're one of those people, you probably want to go to a 49ers game or a Giants game or a Warriors game or a Sharks game. So the Panthers are really low down on that list. I mean, if you really think about it, they're even below Stanford and Cal and St. Mary's and others, right? Here in Sacramento, I think you can make an argument that they could be right there behind the Kings. So when you look at the hierarchy of sports in the market and you see all these Bay Area people that are moving out to Sacramento because it's beautiful here, you can get a lot more bang for your dollar as it pertains to cost of living. I've been in the owner's ear for a while that Sacramento should be a major consideration. And then, what Urijah has done in a short amount of time with his group and taking the bull by the horn is very impressive. And, I think it's exciting for the city of Sacramento. And the city of Sacramento should be lucky to have a guy like Urijah who sees an opportunity like this, jumps on it, and puts his self fully into it. It's very commendable.
Yeah, you were speaking about this the other night and kind of rallying a lot of the leaders of Sacramento around this concept. How do you think it can change Sacramento?
There's some little things right away, and then there's also like a big picture. Like, let's start with the little things. First off, just more to cheer for. I feel like, when you're talking about the pro teams, I like to include our team. Our team's a worldwide team. Team Alpha MMA, we have, fighters every weekend or every month, depending on the month, fighting at the highest level, on a global scale at the UFC, at Bellator, in the PFL. Vying for world championships, being known across the globe, attracting international talent. For a football team like the Panthers, first and foremost, something else to cheer for. Second thing, a great, comfortable place for people to continue to follow their passion. There's the high school stud, there's the college stud. We have UC Davis, we have Sierra College, we have Sac State, we have the Causeway Classic. You have all the colleges around the bigger area. You have people that are looking for these kind of opportunities to keep whatever fire lit or make their family proud or whatever. So it's doing something for the players, absolutely, for their network of people, absolutely. The big picture for me is, let's say this thing does really, really well and we prove out a concept and we show Sacramento can support football What does that mean in the big picture? That means possibly get a team. I would love to have an NFL team eventually in Sacramento, and you do that by showing that, hey, we love football, we love to support our people, and we can, we can support them. And is that a longer shot? Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, we get football. We don't have any football. We fucking love football. California, Sacramento is the number one ticket holders for the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm a 49ers fan myself. I never go to a game. I'm busy, I'll be there at the games easily. We're in Sacramento. It's 7 minutes from my house.
Yeah, crazy. Well, you talk about this sort of aspirational opportunity for local football studs. I know you have, I'm thinking of Ryan Loader from your program, but you've had many Sacramento wrestlers and people who were inspired to be an MMA superstar because of Urijah Faber, and it gives. But where's the destination? You provided that destination for the up and comers in Sacramento. They didn't have to leave town to go, seek their opportunity in MMA. It's provided here. You built the program. Now we'll have that for football as well.
Yeah, and Josh Emmett.
I shouldn't say now. When we get it.
Yeah, when we get it. Josh Emmett, Danny Castillo, Andre Feely. These are all homegrown guys that I went and talked to Josh Emmett's junior college and was like, hey, when you guys are ready to start fighting, come see me. And Josh came, right after the season, and he just fought for a world championship out in Australia. He's main event multiple times on the big show. He's making Sacramento proud. Same thing for Feely. Same thing for Castillo. That's a good thing, and we're on a global level, obviously, but I feel like with the group that we're putting together, the support group that we have in Sacramento, with Haney Biz and Josh Wood and Aaron Zaff and the team that we're all connected to, the backyard advantage, the home court killers, we could really have an impact on the team. I mean, we really could make it go. So I think that's important. And once we're able to do that, then people can follow the lead. And I know we've talked about some of the teams that are profitable and do well, and there's kind of a recipe for that. But I'm kind of doing it right now in the mixed martial arts space. I'm creating, it's such a new sport, I'm creating the route to how you get to the big show. The farm league, the teams, that kind of thing. And so I'm excited about the opportunity. I think it'd be great for Sac.
Thinking about impact on Sacramento, you mentioned Sioux Falls, and there's other, even smaller markets in Sacramento. How has it changed Sioux Falls or maybe some of these other smaller markets? And then in terms of that, I'm kind of curious about the economic impact that it might have. I could see hotels and other people that are in hospitality really getting some benefit out of this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of these teams in small markets, the team is a fabric of the community. And I see that going to be happening here. And I've been thinking about this and talking to Roy Choi, who owns the team, and I have a lot of experience operating sports teams. Right? I did this for 13 years at the Golden State Warriors, which is a whole nother level. But I think the recipe that exists with the three of us and the other people that Urijah brought in, this Sacramento team, I think, has a chance to be that gold standard for the IFL, which will change the league. I told the commissioner that out in Vegas. So I think that is going to be very much the case. And then I think as much as it's an opportunity for young athletes to prove themselves, and by the way, I see a lot of synergy between alpha male athletes and the Panther players, and the kind of collaboration as it pertains to working out and training and getting to know each other. There's going to be a ton of that, I think, going under Urijah's tutelage. But it's also an opportunity for businesses that are trying to be bigger businesses, or startup companies, or local companies that want to get exposure, want to take advantage of this audience that we think is going to sell out the lower level, which is going to be like 8,000 people. If you think about that, for the hotels, for the restaurants, for the local businesses, I told Visit Sacramento this. The way I see it, you take a Sacramento Kings game, which has a lot of impact downtown, that whole Doco development. If you got a Panthers game at slower level only, it's 50%. So I think the restaurants, the bars, the shops, the hotels, they'd love to get another 8 to 10, 50% of a Sacramento Kings game.
Yes.
Compared to dark days, compared to zero. I mean, that's huge for the economic impact of that area and all the businesses that are a part of that.
In terms of the schedule, how many games and like what time of day do they typically play?
So there's going to be 8 to 10 home games. It's a 16-week season or so. The Dave games preferably are Saturday or Sunday. We just spoke with the Sacramento Kings about this a couple weeks ago. We're going to have to be kind of creative with the schedule, specifically in April, because Kings season goes to mid-April. The Kings are a playoff team right now. I think everybody would bet the Kings are at least going to be in the playoffs. So I think the whole month of April, maybe even early parts of May, we're going to have to work around Kings games. So you might see some Thursday night games or some Tuesday night games. So we're talking with the Kings right now about how do we navigate the first month. But when you get into, and then you also got some graduations that are mixed in there as well in April, May. But when you get into June and July, I think Saturday nights is going to be the target date that we do for this. So it should be a great date night, a great family night. So you're not having to juggle getting home and school nights and homework and other things, because it is very catered to kids. I mean, Urijah said it with his family. He's got a 2 and a 4-year-old. I have a 10 and a 12-year-old. My kids love it too. And I think anywhere from 4 years old to 15 years old, this is going to be a very attractive ticket.
What are the biggest hurdles right now for, we're competing for this, so what are the biggest hurdles we have? I know you've got people lining up to be a part of this, but what else has to happen? What other message do we need to get across? Like, if you want to help, maybe there's a place for you to grab a hold and help. Yeah.
So I don't have a tangible answer to that, and that's come up a couple of different times, but I would say anybody who wants to support this bid should be welcome to reach out. There's an email address, panthersrfp@pivot-agency.com, or find me or find Urijah or find you. We're not hard to find.
Right.
So everybody should be welcome to kind of join. The bid is really going to be a combination of the arena venue agreement, sponsorship, local companies committing, in kind, whether that be restaurants offering free food, Sports 1140, I'm talking about potentially free advertising. Regional Transit just came in and met with us today. They're talking about offering free wraps to their buses. So the Panthers are wrapped. So there's different companies that have some value in kind that they can offer that maybe can't sponsor with, a cash investment. So all of those things are welcome, because at the end of the day, and it's not going to be very long from now. It's a little bit of a moving target. It was September 8th. I'm pushing it closer to September 30th just because there's so much support. I'm telling the ownership group, Marshawn Lynch and Roy Choi, I need a little bit more time. But all those components are going to be added into a package. I'm going to submit it in to the ownership group. I'm going to give them my opinion, and then they're going to make a decision on where the Panthers are going to play come March 2024. And they have to do it by the end of September, because they need to submit that to the league so the league can start to put the schedule together of the dates of what home games, what away games, et cetera.
Yeah. What did I not ask you guys? What else should I have asked you, and that we need to make sure our audience sort of has in mind when they think about the Panthers and this opportunity?
Well, it's been said a couple different times, but we're in a competition. So the RFP is basically, it's shopping to see where would be the best fit. And there's really one person that needs to make that choice, but he's going to do it based on interest, support, economics. So that's it. Just showing a little bit of excitement, and reaching out, even if you're someone that wants to.
I'm imagining a letter of intent saying I'd buy season tickets or something like that. Those kind of lists,
anything's welcome.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're it's all directed towards Pivot Agency, Ben Shapiro, and what is it? What's the email address again?
PanthersRFP@pivot-agency.com.
Yeah. So that's how you reach out and say you're interested. Like I've got some follow up. Derek Lee hit me up. He's a childhood friend also. He loved the idea. Always a big supporter of Sacramento. Mike Heller. We've got quite a few interested parties that have showed a little bit of interest. We just need to follow up and say, hey guys, let's make this thing happen.
Yeah.
One thing I'll add is, it's hard to verbalize this until you actually experience the game. I've been many times with my family. It's really entertaining. It's really fun, and I'm not just saying that. If you come to a game, you're going to want to come back. And I think for all Sacramento sports fans and businesses and the whole market, I think you have to look at this, and I really think this is going to be the case, that this will quickly become the second most popular sports team in this marketplace if Uriah wins the bid. I have a lot of confidence that's going to be the case, because I've been to River Cats games and I've been to Republic games, and they're great, but this is a different level. And I think the Sacramento Kings have had a kind of a very strong hold on the sports landscape here, and they're supportive of this. They're going to be a key partner of this. So I see it kind of being an extension of Kings basketball games in the same arena with a different sport. And I think that's going to be extremely popular here. And so it's hard to verbalize that, but when people come out and see it, if we're lucky enough to kind of win this bid, and Uriah and the team are doing a great job, I think that is hopefully a vision that people can kind of see and digest, because I really see it being the case.
Yeah, super excited about this. Uriah, thanks for bringing me involved and playing some small part, but thank you to both of you for leading. I mean, it takes leadership to get something big done, and it doesn't happen without that. And so thank you both for being leaders on this cause and helping this hometown that we love.
Yeah, let's get it done, guys. Bring him to Sac. Let's do it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching today's show. My goal for every episode is that you find a takeaway, something tangible you can use in your business today. And if you have a comment about a favorite takeaway, feel free to put it in the box below. And if you have a topic that you'd like me to bring up on the show, don't forget to let me know. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to learn more about entrepreneurship. Because at Haney Biz, we are always by your side.